Hello, Star Wars CCG players, fans, and folks who just really don't want to watch the afternoon football games here in the U.S. because they're not that good right now. Garrett Larson here, Dead Body on the forums and Slack and everywhere else, up here to bring you guys some OCS playoff action. We've got Tom Kelly Wise on Dark Side playing Realtier Operations against Ryan Jellison, SAC 89837, which I gotta assume is the area code for Sacramento, or zip code for Sacramento, on Throne Remains. This is my surprised face. Throne Remains starting Battle Plan, Draw Their Fire, Insurrection and Aim High, and non-virtual UNITA against Realtier Operations. He does not get to take the heading for the Med Frigate back when he plays UNITA because UNITA comes into play before heading for the Med Frigate resolves. This screams he put Tom Kelly on ROPS. Nothing else. This is a I know he's playing ROPS. I'm going to play around it. So, Tom starts Insignificant Rebellion, Insurrection, and Imperial Arrest Order and Secret Plans, and the greatest card in existence, Established Control. Ryan throws down a docking bay from hand. He used Wisa to go get Boss Nass's Chambers, deployed that. Deploys the Profundity docking bay from his reserve deck. This is Throne Remains. This is... I'll be honest, if you'd have given me 15 guesses for the decks Ryan was going to bust out for this, Throne Remains starting UNITA non-V wasn't on that list. That being said, it might be a heck of a meta call. You choke ROPS, you get all your guys going down cheaper for deploy -3, you get the force generation off his sites. This has got potential to be real interesting and is sort of a clear example of what can happen when you have a match play style event, because Ryan put Tom on a deck and put him on it hard. So Tom gets his own non-battleground docking bay and throws out Kessel, throws out Fondor, putting out his own force and getting some generation, which is good, but again, Ryan's out-activating him already. And Tom's just going to draw a few. Tom's going to have to play this real slow because Ryan's playing Throne Remains. Throne Room's going to jump on you if it gets to, and especially with that UNITA start, this is interesting. So Ryan uses Insurrection and Aim High again. Expect we'll probably see the Hoth document. Yep, again, he just says, I'm giving up nothing. Throws out Honor of the Jedi. I don't know. I'm not sure I wouldn't have just held on to that. I don't foresee Tom doing any amount of direct damage necessarily, where Honor is going to be important. Tom missed Von A, which stinks a little bit, but he was also only activating 3, so I'm not sure he could even have deployed Von A that first turn. Now he activates a few. He's got some activation. He threw his systems down. He got his docking bay. He'll probably... Now he's going to throw down a Realtier site, and this is what starts... Oh yeah, you do Von A to Mustafar. I forgot she's deploy -3 to a site with Vader in text. So yeah, missing that hurts Tom a little bit. I mean, this is still this has the potential to just be a brutal matchup if Ryan got his characters and stuff in hand. Like, this could be just Ryan's going to put Tom behind the 8 ball and just push and push and push. But it's also Throne Remains. Throne Remains always has the ability to just kind of crap out on Destiny occasionally. And Ryan didn't get any of his other Twixes out yet, and Tom is still drawing. I think he threw down a couple sites just to get him out, to start getting some more activation, because he needs to come in force as well. So Ryan's going to activate 13. He's got a 12 card hand. He's got 18 force to work with. This sure feels like overrun those 2 Reltier sites and force Tom to struggle to flip. But let's see what Ryan's got going on. I mean, the everybody deploys -3 because of Unita is just brutal. So Arzur comes down for 3. He's +2 from ROPS. He's -3 from Unita, so he ends up a net -1. Ditto Hera. I don't like just leaving those 2 there. There's Obi-Wan. As I say, like, Hera feels like a bad spot. And there's Rey. So Ryan just says, I'm going to take over the forest. The thing is, the forest says your characters here are immune to attrition. So you're not going down with weapons. You're just trying to overpower. I'm not sure I wouldn't have preferred them at the Spaceport Street, even though it does give up the movement text. If he does get into battles there, he can guarantee that attrition is clearing guys instead of just missing. And weapon limit. Ryan knows this is an open event, right? He doesn't have to play only old cards. He uses weapon levitation and grabs Luke's lightsaber from his used pile, puts Anakin's lightsaber on Rey. Ryan is playing a lot of cards. Like, I'm perfectly happy with him taking the forest. You've got a weapon. You're going to start hurting people, but at the same point, all of the pluses from the forest in terms of you've got the weapon, you're killing guys, you're putting a punch of power there. You have the exact same benefits at the street with the added benefit of you absolutely kill someone with attrition, which I think is important. That being said, Ryan always plays unique decks. He does interesting things. Throws out the only Jedi carry this weapon. Little surprised to see him throw that down. I definitely wouldn't expect Tom to be playing any sort of weapon levs in ROPS, but we'll see. He does use Ezra's text. Tom allows Ryan to activate a force, so Ryan activates one and then draws the bottom card with Rey. So he keeps one to bluff a barrier, bluff a grabber, bluff whatever he needs to bluff. Tom's going to grab another spaceport site and probably the spaceport docking bay as well, using arrest order if he can. This can be a little bit of a slow game. You know, this is kind of how ROPS versus Throne Room goes. There's a lot of just kind of slog, slow grind with some impactful battles and a lot of small moves that can have an outside, an outsized impact later. Yeah, I think you're correct, Casey. I would have been very surprised to see ROPS play Weapon Lev, because I don't expect they're playing any of their own weapons. He's the chosen one. You can't steal Luke's saber. Like, it's immune. You can lose 2 to cancel it. Anakin Saber is immune in the Skywalker Saga decks. Like, it's so hard to steal light side sabers. Putting in a dark side weapon lev just in case your opponent's playing throne room mains with matching weapons seems like a stretch. But at the same point, Ryan's starting aim high, he's starting battle plan. How many more shields does he want to pull? You know, like at this point, he's got shields to burn. Like there's not 4 shields that are going to be super important for him to put out right here. And we see Palpatine Galactic Emperor going to Mustafar. That'll bump Tom's activation a little bit. He'll get the bump from Established Control, along with the Emperor's icon. Spectre, the Supreme Leader. I think Tom's just saying, hey, I'm still going to draw a bunch of cards, and I'd rather be below 15. I like how Casey and I are making the same points. He's doing it in chat as I'm talking about it. Like, again, I joke about it, but like I like to see better players say the same thing I'm thinking because it makes me feel like I'm maybe doing a decent job with commentary. And, you know, Casey, who was, you know, second at Worlds a couple of years ago, making the same points I'm making. I like that. So Tom's still just kind of sitting. Like, I don't know what his plan is right here. I assume Ryan's certainly going to pay 3 to drain for 2. There's no way you do anything else, and I think he's just trying to find some of his Twixes. See the Masterful move to go get, I'm sure, Gick. Although I've seen Monarch in the last couple games. Alright, so he did go get Gick, which is not a surprise. And that's a card you just almost always assume your opponent has, but at the same time you always play, you have to make them prove it if they hadn't pulled it, because sometimes they don't have it. We see Jellison and Masterful Move going to Lost. Tom says, hey, I knew what that Masterful Move was. As much as drawing a 6 is nice, knowing that I don't need to draw it, because if you're flipped, your Destiny are already insane, and if you're not flipped, you're in for a bit of a rough time anyways. There's not a great way to say that. So the prefect's office is really where I wouldn't mind if Ryan had all his guys. And there we see Luke Rebel Scout, who's going to get the saber he grabbed last turn with the weapon lev. Probably move like Ezra over with him. Or just Yoda, Master of the Force, and just say, nope, this is all me. I own this planet now. And he's still going to move Ezra over, so he's got 3 characters at each site, 13 power at each site, a saber at each site. Adds 1 to his total battle destiny at the forest, which is sort of immaterial because, again, we talked about that everybody's immune to attrition there. Drops the See You Around kid to grab a card out of his force pile and put a, I'm sure, high destiny down. Like, this is classic throne room, and he's got the real start he needs. Like, Tom's in a little bit of a rough spot. Again, Ezra goes off, he gives the extra activation. I will say I still would have preferred, especially because Ryan started putting stuff down, I would have much preferred Luke and Yoda to the prefect's office, move everybody to the street, force him to fight you to get the +1 to all his guys, because this way he can drop his guys, drop a leader at the prefect's office, get +1 to everybody, and do that. But Tom's hand is, something's not working the way he wants it to with this, because he's just not putting everything together as well as he hoped. So we see the attempt to pull a site with rail tier operations. Ryan gets the verify, and I'm not sure what Tom was looking for there. I mean, there's probably just the spaceport docking bay is left for him to pull, maybe to see if like his other one. Yeah, Casey, I think we're all in the same boat, or you and I are in the same thing. Like, the way you had to do this is, and a second seer around kid to cancel Kylo's game text so he doesn't get the swing. And there's the sense, targeting Palpatine, and a sense from Ryan as well. Ryan's got virtual cards. He does know that this is a current era deck. So his sense goes to used. Tom's sense goes to used. See you around, kid. Cancels Kylo's game text. And we're back to square one. And there's Coarse and Rough and Irritating to stop Battle Destiny Edition, which would be really Hera's the only thing right now. And you see the Maul and Simtar and Grand Moff Tarkin V from reserve deck. The thing is, unless Tom puts an Imperial with Kylo, Hera's not adding a Battle Destiny anyways. And that could be why he played Honor. Like, getting that reduction is good, but you probably could have waited until that dropped before you did it. Like, I don't mind holding on to Honor. I don't think it was necessary to play right away. But he's been drawing close enough to 14. I mean, it wasn't an objectively terrible play. It was a play I don't know that I would have made when he made it. You know, once you start seeing, and especially if Tom had dropped the Do or Do Not shield, and Tom says, all right, let's go, let's play at the forest. Now, if he battles here, Rey has to swing at an Imperial, because Kylo Ren is not... Oh, Kylo is immune to attrition. Everyone's immune there. I thought it was just Imperials. It is not. It is all characters are immune, so... One more reason I dislike him going to the forest early. I think you take over the spaceport, let him have the forest. It's a drain of 1, he doesn't get anything there. I will say, if Ryan's playing something like a Run League Run here, this could get fun quick. He's going to face down 2 Battle Destinies because Tarkin's with Thrawn and the Inquisitor. I doubt Tom takes a card off of Sand, which means he's going to eat 2 Battle Destinies back, unless we see something like a... I don't even know what he's going to do. Like, you're not playing You Are Beaten. Alright, so Tom starts the battle right away, adds a Battle Destiny with Tarkin, so he says, I'm not going to lose it. I think I'm ahead in the battle. He doesn't have any way to cause anybody to be forfeit 0, so it's just going to be his 2 draws. And we see Rey swinging at Kylo. I like that option. I might have swung at one of the Imperials simply because Kylo can force field. But yeah, the only reason you'd limit would be if you want a card off that. You don't need to, so you're not going to. So Kylo's hitting forfeit 0, which is... Oh, spicy. There's the Rebel leadership with General Kenobi to now limit Tom to 1. I think at that point, if you're Tom, you almost take a card off Sand just to say, well, I guess you don't care. You're fully immune. You're up 6 in power. Let him draw 2. Unless you really want the ship or you want that second Tarkin, which there's no real reason to. That just guarantees on Ryan's side that he probably just loses Hera. I think if you're looking at who you lose there, Hera's probably the easiest call, because the extra Battle Destiny isn't really helping you. figure out a way to get her back. Another way. Oh, very solid. Out of commission, transmission terminated. To cancel Spectre the Supreme Leader. So Kylo is not going to be going back into hand, which I think was definitely something Tom was hoping for. I'll be honest, Ryan has had every answer right here. If you gave him the option and said, here, pick your hand, he might have picked this game going exactly the way it's going. I'm not sure what else he's going to do here. And Tom is definitely, I think, a little shook right now. Like, everything has gone poorly for him. There's nothing that's gone the way he wants to. Tom is going to take a card off Coarse and Rough and Irritating. He grabs Maul and Scimitar, I think just to give himself a ship and maybe try and satisfy Battle Plan at some point. Draws 3 for Battle Destiny. That's Vane. He's going to use Insignificant Rebellion. Probably swap. Yep, he swaps the Palpatine in hand to get back Yasan Asard. So he's got another ability for Imperial he can throw down. And Ryan draws a 1. That's a little unfortunate. He's down 7. I'm not sure. Yeah, at 7 he loses Obi. The thing is, he also loses 1 from Grand Inquisitor, which honor reduces. Nicely done. I don't love the position Tom's in with that setup now, especially if Ryan's got like a sorry about the mess. This could get real spicy. Let's see what he's got here, though. So we see Vane using Vane to go get Vader's castle. Rey's going to grab a card. I expect we'll see a 3PO as well, just to cycle and find what he wants to play. And he might be just, hunting hard for a sorry. He pays 3 to drain for 2, which I'm a fan of. Get as much damage through as you can. We see 2 Palpatines off reserve deck, so that's 4 Palpatines accounted for already from Tom. So he's got 1 on table, and he now has 3 in Lost Pile. So no, sorry about the mess, no way to do anything at the forest. I mean, I'll be honest, if I'm Ryan, I just use 5 and move everybody. Fine, stack everybody there, get your Drano 1, I don't care. Like, move everybody over, let him have his Drano 1 that he has to pay 3 for, and move on. Pick some cards up, find your answers, and go from there. And I think that's what we're seeing. He moves Rey over, he moves Hera over. I don't think you need to doom stack that site. I would like to see some guys go to the prefect's office. Especially, I mean, Neighborin is not in play, so you can't do anything with the doom stack other than you're going to hold that one site and drain for 3. There's Thrawn using his land speed to follow, but just Thrawn follows. Grand Inquisitor, yeah, it was neither a Jedi or Padawans, and Ryan says, "All right, fine. I'm just going to draw some." Like, you have Thrawn against a 25 power stack with 2 lightsabers. Like, you're not starting a battle there. I don't care what Tom's got in hand. This is not the place to start a battle. And Tom's going to give Ryan another activation for sure. And I think we'll see a 3PO and a Rey grab, as Ryan's just continuing to try and filter his deck, turn it into just, characters in hand and just a bunch of 5s and 6s in deck. Like, that's what Throne Remains does. That's what he wants to do. Yep, Tom chooses not to drain. Not the least bit surprised. I can't fathom a spot where paying 3 to drain for 1 there is even remotely worthwhile. That being said, there's the spaceport docking bay. So now Tom can flip. And that would be part of why I would have moved. I would have split a little bit, is just make it hard to flip. Because now he can control 3 sites with Imperials, and Ryan will control none, and he can flip. That being said, Ryan's got 14 cards in hand, and infinity answers. So there's Magistrate Elspeth at the prefect's office, so now everyone is power +1. And Vane giving him the activation. Maul going to Kessel, which is good because it wouldn't shock me at all if Ryan's space package is basically Han, Chewie, and the Falcon, and that does nothing at Kessel. Kessel, you total ability 6 or more required to light side to draw Battle Destiny. I think you gotta drop Isard at the docking bay, or are you gonna transit over Palpatine and Vane and flip that way? That might be a better option. Saves you some force, lets you draw some. Yeah, Casey and I are talking the same thing. I think, and I don't know how long Ryan's been playing. I know knowing how to flip ROPS back is one of those things, and how to keep them from flipping is one of those things that's really important in the matchup, and was something when you played back in the day everybody knew, because letting ROPS flip and stay flipped was real hard. Like, if ROPS could flip and stay flipped, you were going to struggle immensely. That being said, Tom's going to document transit Palpatine and Vane over, I think. He'll probably move Thrawn with someone back to with Tarkin and the Inquisitor, because I don't think you move them to you. And then probably, I mean, he's got to move Elspeth. Like, against Throne Remains, that's activating a ton, that has that everybody deploys -3, you can't just leave a lone character, because Ryan's got 14 cards in hand. And yep, so he uses the transit to move Thrawn over with Elspeth. So now his total battle destiny is +3. And Ryan plays See You Around Kid to grab a card from his 8-card force pile. And I think he still probably pays 3 to drain for 2. Like, it's still a drain of 2. You've got 2 sabers there. Actually, it's a drain of, or no, because we got rid of ROPS. Its force drains are -1 everywhere. It's not a. And local defense to go get the wild card. Now you can just drop the wild card at Fondor and fly it over to Raltier, and you flip him back. But at this point, Tom at least satisfies battle order and gets to drain for free, which is important. He's got 2 force, leaves 2 force active. Ryan can activate everything. I can't see a time where he'd want to. I feel like he's got to have something to go after the prefect's office, because that is the most gettable site. That's where there's very little immunity to attrition. Elspeth's immune to less than 3. Thrawn's got no immunity. And Tom plays Not Within Sight or Reach to go get Thrawn or Vanto. I assume that's going to be Vanto in Dreadnought. Yep. And he may end up wanting to put Vanto at Raltier if Ryan doesn't go there, just to prevent the easy flip. So Ryan leaves 2 force. He activates 3 to drain for 2, which makes sense. Like, you want to just get this grind going, because Tom's not draining for that much. Like, he doesn't have any drain bonuses, so he's draining for 4 total. And Tom loses the Not Within Sight or Reach that he used, and loses Image of the Dark Lord off the top. There's the wild card. I expect we're going to see, like, Solo. We saw a Chewie with blaster rifle. I expect we'll see any other pilot who's a smuggler. Now, we do have to understand, Tom's going to add 3 to that total battle destiny. Oh, he does have 5. There's Din Djarin, so even if Tom adds to the immunity, he's probably losing Maul. And Ryan says, we're not playing around here. Solo, Din Djarin, Anakin. To be entirely honest, I think I might have thrown them all at the Spaceport Prefect's office and flipped him back. Like, that battle, you are 100% clearing his sight. You flip him back, you don't care about him paying to... You don't care about him draining for free right now. You just go, I now own 2 sites. Let's dance. That being said, now he's going to retrieve with Leia for starting the battle. And wildcard is a capital, so he can theoretically fly over to Raltier, flip them, and shuttle some guys down. He gets back the Obi-Wan that he lost. Yeah, Ryan is on Throne Remains. That was not the deck I expected. Tom takes his other card off Sand, which means he's not getting the second draw, and he prevents the +1 from Anakin. He is still getting the +1 to the total with Solo piloting the wild card. And I gotta imagine that's still a 5 that turns into a 6. I mean, Ryan's been putting cards down. So I think that should be his See Ya Around Kid, if memory serves. Because I think he played See Ya Around Kid last turn. And so that'd be his See Ya Around Kid, and then the card under it is the card he put back. Alright, so my math is off, but it doesn't matter because it's BB-8 who's going to kill Maul. Yeah, as it's a 7-point whatever. Puts him at 18-something power. There's a 1. So even with the +3, he does not crack the immunity. Going to see a card swap off Insignificant Rebellion. Maybe an effect for either Image or the... Oh, swaps an Emperor with an Emperor. Alright, I think he might have thought he had an extra Imperial in there. Ryan's totally immune. Maul's going away. And as much as I want him to fly the wild card over, I don't necessarily hate the wild card staying there and owning. And Tom Gicks out of the battle. Gick, the 1 lost interrupt that doesn't go out of play. And Ryan says, I don't think you need to get that back, and grabs it. Now, I wouldn't hate to see him move some guys over to the docking bay and threaten something here. No, oh, he used all his force, so never mind. He just says, nope, I'm comfortable. Tom can pay 9 to drain for 3. And Tom's down to only 18 cards down. I mean, he's got 10 in hand. He's got 20 cards still. But Ryan's got 35. Like, everything that could have gone right for Ryan this game so far has gone right. And Tom's deciding if he wants to let Ryan get a card or keep him at 0. Yep, he allows Ryan to activate. He needs the force. He's got Eli Vanto in Dreadnought. This may be throw Eli at Fondor, throw a pilot on there just so you are drawing Battle Destiny and play the move around game, because that wild card is loaded up and Ryan is just not doing a lot with it. That means Ryan didn't have the force to make the move last turn. I don't know. I think Anakin may have been overkill on the wild card. I don't think you need the Anakin up there. I think having Anakin on ground would have been nicer, especially since he deploys for 2 on Raltier. But Ryan just says, hey, I'm going to own my sights. There's not much you can do. See Tom get Choke Lord Vader with Vader's Castle. And gets the one out of the deck, gives him a Choke Lord, which is... Choke Vader's a beast. Choke Vader can be hard to deal with, especially with Tom, who's very capable of tracking and drawing those 6s and 7s and choking out, guys with lightsabers. Rey has a real chokeable throat, apparently, or it looks like in this, and drawing those Palpatines, drawing those 5s, takes a lightsaber out of play, which is good. That being said, I don't know if you can move him to the street. Like, Ryan's sitting in a pretty good spot here. Tom is probably tanking a little bit and deciding if he wants to throw Eli and ship anywhere, and especially, like, does he throw him to Fondor and stop paying for battle order? Does he throw him to Reltier just to avoid the immediate flip back if Ryan says, I'm going to go take over Reltier, and flies the wild card, flips him, shuttles down like Leia, and moves a couple people to Spaceport Docking Bay, and just says, yep, we're going to play this way. Tom's got some questions to decide. So let's see where he goes with it. I mean, he's certainly going to move Vader. All right. There's Isard at the street. I mean, you're not... I guess if you're going to move Vader and maybe just move the pile to the street and say you've got Vader, you've got Tarkin, you've got Grand Inquisitor. There's Vanto on Fondor to get the... keep battle order in play and kind of call a bluff that Ryan doesn't have more space. And yep, we see everybody, or at least Tarkin, move over with Vader. I don't love, and Vane, okay. The downside of Vader being there right now is you can't use Vader offensively. And he uses Spaceport Street to move everybody there. Vader now is in a defensive position. Vader's there if you're Ryan. You can try and avoid him. He's got the local defense combo. He played it to get the wild card. Wild card can make it to Reltier. It is hyperspeed 5. He could move to Reltier and flip him, but he could have when he controlled the site. The problem is then you have it as a non-battleground, and I think Ryan should have done it. I'll be very honest. I think Ryan has not played this as aggressively as he should have to keep ROPS on the 0 side. I think he's letting Tom dictate some things that he probably shouldn't be. Especially now that suddenly this drain is kind of shut down. Like, you're just draining for 1 at Kessel. If you move to Fondor and play Chase the Dreadnought, your drain there is 0. And there's Obi-Wan locking out another site, and Ahsoka. Alright, so and Scoundrel Lando, who also looks very chokeable, and is definitely, I think, giving Tom the pick your poison with who you choke. And he plays Speak to get the Jedi Council Chamber, which seems like yeah, I mean, Jedi Presence wouldn't be ridiculous here, and that would make me really happy they're playing on Gemp, because I don't want to start doing that math. I mean, you double everybody but Yoda, you're at 36, minus 3 is 33, so you're at 66, 69 power plus 3 battle destinies. And, like, Ryan has no cards in Lost Pile. Like, he just retrieves his out of commission. And we use Anakin Saber first to swing at Tarkin. And there's a 5. And a 4. There's the local defense that I was talking about that he could use to save someone from Choke Vader. Now, Sorry About the Mess would be pretty nasty to... Oh, Ray wouldn't be double powered, so yeah, you're a little lower than 69. You're 60, 61-ish. I wouldn't... Okay, so there is no Sorry, as we see Choke Vader going after Hera. Little surprised he went Hera instead of Lando. Lando's higher power, higher forfeit. They do the exact same thing. Grand Moff Tarkin gets the cancel and redraw. And that's a big whiff as well. This is gonna be gross. Here's the Luke swing at Vader. That's a 5 because it is +1. And a 6, so I'm pretty sure he got Wayne Brady there. Total weapon destiny of 11. Tarkin to add a battle destiny. That's cute. I mean, the total will be +4, but each draw is -1 from Ahsoka. So you're effectively, the total's +2. And let's see what the draws are. Here's a 4. These are just battle destiny draws. I mean, he's getting 3. So 4 and a 3 is 7. So now you're at Tarkin or Thrawn for sure. And a 5. So you could theoretically keep Von... Oh, no. With Rey adding 1 to the total, that costs you all 3 guys no matter what. But they do forfeit. I mean, you got 11, 16 in forfeit. So that puts you at 42. That's a 0 for Battle Destiny, unless there's something that I'm missing that adds a +1 to it. Oh, yeah. One of the things adds 1 to the ships. So total Battle Destiny is a 7. You're down. Everything will cover. And Ryan loses Lando. That did not go how Tom wanted it to go. None of that went in any way, shape, or form how Tom wanted it to go. That was a brutal... And Tom still has enough force to move guys. So, and I'll be honest at this point, or excuse me, Ryan. I keep confusing them. If I'm Ryan at this point, I am moving. Oh, the forfeit, power and forfeit +1. The forfeit +1 meant he didn't have to lose everybody, so he did lose everyone, not leaving Bonnet. I think at this point I'd move Wildcard to Raltier, and I'd move like Yoda and Luke and maybe Ahsoka in front of Palpatine, and just say, you're done. Like, I'm not going to let you flip back. I don't care if you drain me for 2 or 3. Like, there's the Luke move. And he may just say, I'm going to keep Kessel. I'm going to force you to... Because you move your guys there, you can't move Palpatine to the street. And, I mean... You're not moving Elspeth. You're not going to use the street to move Elspeth from the prefect's office to the street before you move Palpatine, unless you're maybe planning to then back her up with the Grand Inquisitor, and even that's not a good move. Tom says, I'm not giving you any force anymore because, frankly, he only activates 15. He's doesn't need to activate more than that. But I don't know what he's going to do here. I mean, he's going to drain for 3, but I think he's going to end up flip back, and this is going to snowball downhill real quick. I will say I like that Ryan picked this deck for match play. Like, he definitely put Tom on ROPS and said, let's go. I believe he's got to play it next round as well, which opens up the, like, okay, you're playing Throne Remains, like, you know what Throne Remains is. It's just a question of how it plays into, if he wins and advances, what his next round opponent does. One thing to note, Tom Kelly Wise was a little late in getting his deck lists in, so he does have a 5 differential penalty that's going into this as well. That's really the match play, the farm. Okay, so he might be playing Like My Father Before Me as his third effect, and there's an R2 off reserve. So he's kind of like, maybe he is planning for My Kind of Scum type stuff, like, or just that's his battleground site. You use Like My Father Before Me, it gets you the farm. You deploy guys, you grab stuff. Okay, so you did submit one for a second round. See, we got Chris in chat here helping out because I'm bad at knowing these things. I'm just good at talking. I couldn't remember if they got to submit 2 rounds or they just had to play. They played 2 rounds. So there's Vane with Tarkin at the docking bay. So they're going to move. He'll move everybody to the docking bay with Palpatine to at least prevent the immediate flip. Oh no, well, he moves Vane to the Hoth docking bay. That's a... I need to worry about differential, and I'm going to try and pound as much damage as I can through. Kind of play, which at this point means... Okay, so he's... we've got a question if Gemp is wrong. He said if there's no text, the transit is free. It's not free, it's 0, which is why it still cost him 4 to move to the Echo docking bay. So, and that's what Tom is asking in chat, because the Mustafar docking bay has no text on the dark side. There's nothing that gives a cost. It means the cost is 0 because it's an unidentified value, so it's 0, which is different than free. Free would allow him to move to the Hoth docking bay for free, because free is free. You ignore the +4. Because it's 0 instead of free, you pay 4. One of those rules vagaries that folks have to, you just learn over time, and something like this, you basically learn by making the mistake on Gemp. And Tom asking, is Gemp wrong or am I wrong? I'm pretty sure Gemp is not wrong. And Tom does go look and says AR confirms it's 0. I've definitely had a couple times where I thought something was not going the way I thought it was, and I was like, I think Gemp's wrong, and nope, it's always turned out that I was wrong, which my wife will confirm is a common practice, common happenstance. Question if Tom's going to ask for a revert here, because he's like, well, I didn't know it was going to cost 4. We'll see. Not sure it matters. Like, Gick is stacked if Ryan's got something to do shenanigans as he moves the other 2, Tarkin and the Ninth Sister, over to the docking bay. Again, this is like, sorry about the mess would be a nasty card. At some point, Ryan's got to have it, I think. But you got to prove it. And just checking on some football scores. Looks like the Niners-Chiefs game is close. Commanders jumped all over the Panthers. Holy cow. That was not close. Tom just picks a few up. I think if you're Ryan at this point, just in the interest of conserving differential, I mean, without Jaden Daniels, again, it's the Panthers. Like, it's the Panthers. Let's just call it what it is. Ryan activates a couple, and then 3 POs. which tells me he knew what that was. I am not trying to track either player's deck right now, anywhere near enough to know what that was. So Ryan is better at tracking than me, apparently. Ryan's leaving 6 in reserve. So does he have another guy with a saber just ready to come down, or does he have the sorry about the mess? Let's find out. I assume he'll go to control and drain for 1 and 1. Because, again, differential matters both sides. You want to get this differential, burn it down as low as you can. And he might be going after Vane as well. Like, he could be saying, hey, I'm going to battle at the docking bay and very potentially clear it, which will flip Tom, and then battle Vane, where things could go real bad then. Ryan draws the bottom card of his hand in force pile. He did activate a couple more, so he may not be planning. I mean, he's not planning to sorry. So we'll see what he plans to boomstick out. Tom loses a 7 off the top. That's a little unfortunate. We see the drain of 0. He's going to add 1 with the saber, turn it into a drain of 1, and just keep costing Tom cards. Tom is down to 18 cards total. Ryan has 29. Like, Ryan has more cards in his force pile right now than Tom has total. Now we see Dash Rendar, who's really not going to do anything there because there's no gangster permanent weapon, but he's 3 power and forfeit, and he deploys for free. So he's really just a soak up forfeit, because Tom is going to add 3 to the total battle destiny, but then he's got the Ahsoka, who's subtracting 2 from each of it. Made a 4 and a 5. There is the I must be allowed to speak, so that was his plan to start against that. That's going to hit Palpatine, making him forfeit 0. And more importantly, he's the only guy that has immunity. Ryan apparently just doesn't believe in sorry about the mess. Cards goes with Dark Time to make Ryan lose a force because of the throne room. Loses the blaster deflection. That certainly wasn't going to come into play. But also prevents battle destiny draws from being modified or canceled. So Ahsoka will not subtract 1 from each of them. Tom is fine with that because he still adds to the total with ROPS. So we see a 4 for battle destiny, and that's going to kill 1 guy. Here we see a 2, which is going to be effectively a 5. So it's a 5, 6, 7 for the total, which may end up being just Yoda. Like, if we haven't seen a gift to the mentor, which means he's probably not playing it. And at that point, Ahsoka is much better than Yoda in that play. Jared seems like Ryan decks are like Bugs Bunny's pockets. It's just lots of random things, and they all seem to work together, and he has the card he needs when he needs it. Tom uses Insignificant Rebellion, swaps a Vane in hand with a Darth Vader in Lost Pile. Does the cancel with Tarkin. Oh, it is allow the cancel and redraw. So, that's right. It can only be canceled if redrawn. So now his total battle destiny is a 9. I think that's Dash and Yoda. Like, you're not losing Luke. Yep, there went Dash. I think Ahsoka's better than Yoda most of the time, and there we go. We see an agreement. Grand Inquisitor, who's a global... Oh, as any Inquisitor. Ninth Sister is an Inquisitor, so... Loses a Luke Rebel Scout from reserve. Then loses the Ninth Sister for the attrition. Ryan... I think you move the wild card. Like, I'm not even sure you don't just move the wild card to Reltier and flip him back and say thanks for playing. Alright, so he's going to follow the wild card to Fondor. He's going to get drained for probably just 2. Like, I might move... So he moves Hera over in front of Tarkin, which just screams if you're going to come down with Vader. Like, Vader's going to come down and choke Hera. Alright, he doesn't move the other guys in front of the Grand Inquisitor. I might have. I might have tried to start blocking some of those drains and just keep the... maximize your differential. He's actually running a deck of holding. What you don't see is he's got a card in there that says he gets an extra 30 random tech cards that just do things like weapon levitation. So, we'll see how this goes. He leaves 9 force. He's got 10 in hand. He's got 16 down. You know, Tom's only got 18 cards total. Tom activates everything, so he's not going to start a battle, which makes sense. So you throw Vader down against Luke and Ahsoka. Even if you choke out Hera, which isn't a guarantee, you're still losing both guys and eating very potentially overflow, but you're losing the sight. And if you lose the sight, you lose the game. Like, you lose the sight, you get flipped back, and that's game. See the drain of 1, goes with Speak from hand, Sense from hand, Ray from hand. Ryan's just losing cards from hand at this point. There's no reason to do anything from anywhere else. I think you got to throw Vader down somewhere and start. Alright, there's another Palpatine to the prefect's office. That's fine. That allows you to move Elspeth away. There's Palpatine or Vader. I mean, are you moving everybody there? Okay. Like, you're just blocking one site. Yep, there's Tarkin going to the street. Are you moving Elspeth to the street as well? Yep, kind of feels like that's not a terrible plan. Moving Eli Vanto to Kessel, which does mean that Ryan doesn't drain at Fondor. It's going to be a drain of 0. It's -1. Ryan playing another C or round kid to stack a 5 and something else. Tom grabs it just because. Like, there's no reason to give him a trackable 5 at this point. Like, odds are he knows what every card in there is, but, like, cut differential. Like, at this point, Tom is losing this game, so you cut the differential as much as you can to prevent it from getting worse. So let's see where he goes with this now. He knows what that destiny is going to be, so he's real happy with it. I mean, he's going to be happy with it. I expect he's going to activate. I can't fathom that he's not playing Sorry About the Mess. Like, even a non-combo, like, you just got to find it here. And Tom draws one more. He's got 3 cards in hand, 13 cards down, 16 cards total. Ryan's got 16 down and another 6 in hand for 22 cards total. He is only going to drain for 1 this turn, though. Like, he needs to do something to flip this objective back. Like, if he flips Tom back, this game's going to roll downhill real quick. But if you can't get him flipped back, like, Tom has played this very well in terms of just trying to keep himself on the 7 side and keep grinding out that 7 side. Ryan apparently does not have still doesn't have Sorry About the Mess. He leaves 4 in reserve, which is a swing with Ray. There's Master Qui-Gon. Yeah. Tom knows how to play cards. News at 11. Like, there's Master Qui-Gon and Chewie with Bowcaster. That's bad for Tom. Like, that's a whole host of power, and yeah, Palpatine's going to get +3 to the total with the draw, so you're effectively 8 to 12, so you're down 4. I gotta think you're going to, Palpatine's going to get hit by one of them. There's Secret Plans as Tom's retrieving a force with Leia because he battled with a Resistance character. Qui-Gon's going to swing at Palpatine. There we got a 5. And probably another 5. Hey, look, another 5. So Palpatine is dead, yo. So he is hit. He is forfeit 0. Again, Tom is down 4. before Battle Destinies go through. And there's a 5 for Battle Destiny, so we're power 17 to Tom's 8+ Destiny. And playing solo, using solo, I think just to play a heading for the med to add another one. Yep, might as well. You know he's peeling something. So you're at a total of 18 to 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 5 is 13, so you're going to be Emperor and 5, which flips, and it's going to flip him back. Well, yeah, it won't necessarily flip him back. Tom can choose to lose some force here and wait to get flipped back on the move phase. And there goes Qui-Gon and Chewie die. Tom's going to lose some. Yeah, Joe, I'll be honest, I don't love necessarily the way that Ryan has played this game. I think he's been far, far too passive. But he is going to end up winning it because he just got such an amazingly good start beyond anything else. Like, he definitely allowed Tom to do some things he didn't need to allow. Moving Hera alone, I think he's just going to consolidate the two sides. I assume we'll see Ahsoka move over with Hera. I can't envision leaving her. Yeah, it's so. And you see in chat, Chris says he's ducking out to go prep for the other match. We've got Matthew Harrison Trainer versus Mike Pistone, which is going to be dropping on the Players Committee channel here in a little while. That game starts, I believe, in about half an hour. Certainly feel free to watch that after this game is done. I hope you'll hang with me through this match as Tom's going to finish things out here. He's going to drain for 2. Ryan won this game. Now it's just a matter of how do we see the drain for 2 and then just draw up? Like, you're really not going to do any more damage. Ryan's got cards in hand. You can't battle at the street, and I don't think you want Ryan battling into you. Ryan's losing some cards from hand. He's keeping 3 in there, and the off chance Tom is packing my favorite match play card of all time, Limited Resources. I don't think you can leave everyone piled there. Like, you're going to have to move Eli Vanto over. The thing with that pile stuck there now is you're not getting any additions to Battle Destiny, so you're going to struggle to clear a lot of things, and you're going to lose probably all 3 guys. Like, Ryan's Destiny are kind of nuts. Battle, you swing with Luke, you hit Vader, you swing with Rey, you hit somebody else, and then, you hit Elspeth, and then Battle Destiny kills Tarkin, and now you're down to nobody. And that might be what Tom is trying to think of, is it better served to just draw up and have less cards in Lost Pile, or do you want to go all in and try and ping out some more damage? Because you're really only going to take a couple pings down. Like, you're going to take 3 damage here if you move away. Yep, Tom goes straight to draw phase, so he's going to give Ryan the win by 16 with the draw up. Ryan will have 14 in Lost. Tom will have 26 in Lost. Ryan plays Rebel Leadership to add 1. Now Tom's got to decide if Tom's paying 1 to grab it, so alright, all of my math is off now, as Tom was starting to pick up and now he can't. And as he grabbed the Rebel Leadership, but that now also means he can retrieve 1 with Rey, or with Leia when he starts a battle. And that's what he's going to do. And we see the Dark Time getting played to make really just to make Ryan lose a force, and I'm sure it'll just be from hand. And there went the sense. A little surprised he didn't just sense, or his Dark Time immune to sense. I don't remember. No, he didn't. I'm a little surprised he didn't just choose to sense that. Like, okay, you don't lose the force anymore. It doesn't matter if it goes used. You don't care. Like, then you send your sense to use instead of losing a force. A little surprised he didn't do that. Is what it is. Yeah, Tom knows he's lost. It's just a how does he lose at this point? And I think we see. I think Tom's just gonna, or excuse me, Ryan's just gonna. I'm not even sure he drains. Like, you just battle Eli Vanto, retrieve one. Like, we see the 3PO to see if he can find a used interrupt to play. And then probably just activate one, and activates 5, doesn't really matter. Just activate a few. You can drain for 1, because again, it doesn't matter at this point. This is we're going to finish this way. And Tom loses off the top. So we'll see a drain, or excuse me, a battle at Kessel, I assume. There's the Dark Time again to make Ryan lose another card. He loses a Speak from hand, which he's going to instead now retrieve that Speak. So whatever, it's fine. You use Leia to retrieve it. So it's 17 instead of 16. And Gick is grabbed. There's no way Tom can do anything but just peel here. He's already down 6. Eli Vanto would cover the 6, but he gets 2 Battle Destinies. He gets the +2 Battle Destinies. So yeah, it is all over here. 5 and 4 is 9, so his total power is 21. And Tom loses his card, so it is 17, not 16. And then 15 in Lost to 29 in Lost. Congratulations to Ryan Jellison. That 17's a big win in match play. Looks like, yep, we're seeing the same chat, which is win by 17, 15 in Lost to 29. And they're going to jump to game 2 right away. So I will get ready for game 2 to start up here. Give it just a second here. Game 2 is up. Ryan's got it up. Tom has accepted it and is getting started. Let's get in there. And Ryan going with Entanglements. That's a deck Tom loves and has played a whole bunch. That's an interesting choice. So we see Imperial Entanglements. And Tom going with, he's the chosen one. Entanglement starting Arrest Order Non-V, Endor Shield, and Aerotech Corp, which is the grab a matching Biker Scout and ATST. Tom playing HITCO with Walkling. Tom, I'm now rooting for you very, very hard. You became my favorite person. I think it's a worse option. I think Twilight is an infinitely better card, as much as I hate to say it, but Walkling is love, Walkling is life. I am now unabashedly rooting for Tom in this game, and Ryan's going to watch this later, and sorry, Ryan, like you a lot, you're a great guy. You didn't start Walkling. Like, that's all I got to say. So, Ryan uses Endor Shield, grabs Ozzel. I'm assuming he'll grab a second Admiral right away, because why wouldn't you? You want to throw somebody on the Devastator, get stuff started. Tom playing, he's the chosen one, not what I would have expected. Ryan playing entanglements is not what I would have expected. Now, the one thing I will say with Ryan is I said I wouldn't have put him on Throne Remains because I wouldn't have put anybody on Throne Remains. That's sort of an insane. Tom must have open-handed both his sights and an Our Only Hope. That's a little unfortunate, but he moves Prophecy over, so he'll get the extra activation from it next turn. And Ryan grabs Admiral Sheernew from his reserve deck as well. Unless Tom's playing some very different version of HITCO, that Devastator with Sheernew is going to be a problem. So, and Ryan goes and uses Fanfare to go grab Alert My Star Destroyer, so we're just going to see probably Ozzel on the Devastator, Sheernew on the ground, shuttle him up, or vice versa, and now you have a fully immune Devastator that, when you flip, is draining for 2. And again, Tom's going to struggle to deal with that. Like, that's going to be the only Battleground system on table, and I don't think Tom's going to be able to go there. So, he's the chosen one. I think can definitely win this matchup, depending on what kind of deck exactly Ryan is playing as far as entanglements go. Like, this doesn't appear to be the Trooper Beat version, but at the same time, like, there's the Jawa or the Desert Heart to make it harder to move. But it is a slog of a game, and he is the chosen one is crazy. So Ryan won the first game by 17. So HITCO's favored against Trooper Beats, but I've played that as HITCO quite a bit, and you can still lose. Like, HITCO is one of those decks that can occasionally just go off, and this is, you know what, this is definitely not the Trooper Beats version because the arrest order says you can't Ellis. And Ryan just drops Ozzel, alerts him on the Star Destroyer, and draws up. He says, I want to be able to go off next turn. And that might be why he did Ozzel instead of the... So, looks like Tom had a second Our Only Hope. So he used the first one to move Prophecy, get the extra activation. Now he goes and gets Yoda's Hut. I guess. I don't know that I love giving the extra activation to Ryan. Yeah, he can get there. Interesting, right? Tom moved real quick right through. He deployed Yoda, and then was just like, all right, well, let's go to draw. And dropped Yoda. He didn't have a Luke. Yep, so Tom does have a -5 differential, so the 17 is actually effectively 22, which makes it even harder, although if you gave me a deck and said I need to win by 20 plus with light side, HITCO would be one of those decks because it definitely can just spam out a huge win. Yeah, Tom was a little late submitting his deck list. So was Jared Conkster. I probably butchered the hell out of his last name, but Jared was also a smidge late getting his deck list in, apparently. So they both ate a 5 differential penalty, which is the standard for the OCS. That's happened before with deck list errors. It's not insurmountable, but it is a penalty you have to deal with. And there comes a speeder bike. Now, the one thing HITCO's got going for it is they're absolutely playing free ride, which can just be really brutal if you time it right on this speeder bike move. And there's Missick, along with Sergeant Barrich, who does the one with another Biker Scout. Draw Destiny subtracted from opponent's attrition and total power. Ninth Sister to flip him back. I mean, are we just going right after Yoda here? Like, I don't hate that play, but at the same time, if he draws high and you draw bad, you're stuck with something. Ooh, missed adding the total power, so Ryan just says, hey, we're going to make this happen quick. High-speed tactics to add a... What? Your speeder bike piloted by... Okay, well, that's a card, guys. I remember there's a card that did that. I don't think I would have been able to tell you which one it was. And there's Jellison, which is going to get Imperial Enforcemented into hand. And instead there's Tarkin, who's a 3, and that's fine. Like, Yoda's immune. You're just straight out powering him right now. And there's a 3 and a 3. Yeah, if you're going to go down with Yoda, you go to the... There's a 6, which is nice, and now it's going to get subtracted from. If you're going with Yoda anywhere, I think you go to the Ewok Village. And there's a 5 to reduce it. So you do eat 1 attrition, which I almost think might be Ninth Sister. Like, unless you've got another bike. Okay, I guess. He loses Barrich. Yoda's immune, but it's 17 battle damage. So there's Yoda. Does he have the Hujix? So he does not have the Hujix. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, Jared, like, Ryan Jellison decks are kind of Bugs Bunny, play a lot of weird things. That one doesn't even shock me as a Bugs Bunny. Like, I could see if you're playing speeder bikes, getting the extra Battle Destiny feels really good. Why wouldn't you do it? And Ryan just says, you know what, I'm shuttling everybody up. Puts them on the speeder bike, rides them all up. Puts them in the cargo hold of the Devastator. You know, it's one of those cards that you're going to play in speeder bikes. It's just I wouldn't have expected speeder bikes. And yeah, I don't love putting Yoda there. Like, if you want to just get Yoda down because you want to flip, you want to do stuff, you put him at the Ewok Village where he's going to get an uncontested drain. You move Prophecy there, you do your thing. So we see Tom drops Luke, Jedi Knight with the saber at the prophesied site. Like, he's threatening a big drain there. The Imperial landing site. I know it's not Jawa camp, yeah. I mean, he's threatening a big drain there, but like, the flip side is, does Ryan even care? Like, he needs to get another site out to flip and spread, doesn't he? Control 3 Tatooine sites, and Kona controls fewer than 3 Tatooine sites. So he doesn't even need to flip. So I'm a little surprised we didn't see a Come You Big Coward get played. I think I would have just said, you know, let's slow down the retrieval. You just need to, again, just lose little. So if you can stop him from getting cards back, you lose little. Because Tom needs to win by 23, and he has 26 cards down. Like, anything you put into play has the potential to just be, this is it for Tom. So Ryan activates 12. He's going to use entanglements to go get a site. And if that's the case, I guess the other thing you could just be playing is you just wait and throw down resistance and fine, drain for 4. It's going to be 2. I don't care. I'll lose 2 and cycle my guys. And that might be why he didn't go with Come Here, You Big Coward. Is fine. You can retrieve 1. I don't care about the 1. Ryan's looking in his reserve for something. Might be figuring out if he's got a matching pilot or which biker scout he wants to grab. Because I expect we'll see a biker scout some movement going on here. Yep, there's Blizzard Scout 1, probably for Arnett. Yep, Lieutenant Arnett, who draws Battle Destiny if unable to otherwise, and adds Blizzard's got one. I thought Arnett did something fun. Oh, deploys for free about Blizzard Scout 1. Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I knew he did something with it. So Blizzard Scout 1 with Arnett. So he draws Battle Destiny if unable to otherwise. And just is obnoxious. We see Battle Order come down. I expect we'll see the speeder bike with Misk and somebody land, which will flip Tom back and stop that retrieval as the Ninth Sister comes out. And Ninth Sister gets moved over to flip Ryan to the 7 side. Ryan can now retrieve Barrich, pick some force up, and say, if you come at me on the ground, I'm reacting with a walker or a speeder bike or both, and that's scary. Ryan's drawing some cards up. Like, Tom's got effectively 14 or 15 cards total to work with. Like, he does not have a lot of opportunity here. That's in terms of cards he can afford to lose, he can afford to put down, he can afford to do anything with. This is going to be a tight match, you know, and this is going to end probably sooner rather than later. I think Tom's going to play it. He's got to play it super aggressive. You've got to get a beatdown in. You know, you might see something in the going after the Ninth Sister. And Ryan put out there is no try, simply so if Tom tries sensing reacts, he's still going to lose force. Like, that's important right now, is just make Tom lose force. Get him below the threshold and call it a day. See, don't do that again. Tom's going to be looking through his reserve for something, I'd imagine. See, he drains for 3. He's going to add one with Luke's Saber. Ryan did not play anything to reduce that. That's... I don't know if I like Battle Order better than just plain resistance and saying, fine, you can drain for free. He loses Command, Thrawn, Masterful Move, all from hand. He says, I don't need any of these cards. And then Sergeant Elsk from reserve deck. Elsk is a guy who he wouldn't mind having. Like, Elsk on a speeder bike just makes things fun. That could be, he just, don't do that again, is just a protect from always thinking with your stomach, which, why wouldn't Ryan be playing that? Like, if you're going to play random cards, like, that's absolutely a brutal card against He is the Chosen One. Like, you don't have a lot of characters. You don't want to lose Luke to that. Tom's got to decide what to do here, though. Like, there's Obi-Wan in front of the Ninth Sister. You're going to kill the Ninth Sister to flip back and try and do stuff. There's Han with gun, who's just, again, another way to go after the Ninth Sister. I'm sure you're going to swing and hit her first. She defends value -2, like, so she's getting hit a whole bunch of ways. She's going to be forfeit 0. But you're going to be reacting guys over. It's... I don't know. I mean, I think you're reacting over with Arnett and Blizzard Scout 1. There's Scanner Text. He battles for free, which he was already battling for free because of the objective, but it gets him to add a card and prevents the bonus for, forfeit values can't be increased. So you don't get the extra forfeit from a rest order, which does impact who he's moving there. Like, I think at that point you might be moving Misk and saying, well, I'll get a bunch to my total power because I don't want to be stacking cards on his destiny. And seeing where this goes. I mean, Tom's probably just starting a battle here. I don't think he's got any other characters that he wants to put down, and certainly doesn't want to leave himself with no force to play with later. You start the battle, you draw the card off scanner text, you eat the reacts, and see where this goes. Oh, never mind. He throws down Chewy Protector as well, so Chewy's gonna... So you have to be present at same site. So he'd cancel Misk's power or our nets, and adds the extra battle destiny as well, which is a... You know, this is his win. This is his win condition, is just overflow. Like, you're going to get the Gick, you're going to give that up, and that's fine. And that might be why Ryan says, fine, do your battle. You can't move in front of me, so that means you can't flip him back. He's going to get his drains off for free. He's going to get to do his stuff, and you don't really care if Tom's on the 7 side right now. Yep, so he's 9 Sisters hit, forfeit 0. It's 19 to 20 for 6 to 24. He gets his battle destiny here, which is fine. Here, it's a 3. I think you almost enforcement. I think he's fine with no react. He doesn't care, and the 7's actually a big draw. The 7 means you lose Obi. He threw away the masterful move, so you just go, yeah, Tom probably wishes. You knew he had the Gick. He threw away the masterful move from hand. You 100% knew the Gick was there. It's more the, yeah, you know you're not getting anything out of it other than, all right, he loses 9th Sister in the Gick. You can't flip him. You're eating drains. Like, this is just not going the way he wants it to. Now we do see Obi die. Tom does flip to the 7 side. He's down to 25 cards down and 9 in hand. So he's at 34 cards to Ryan's 24, 32 cards. But again, Ryan just needs to lose by little. You know? Tom throws out aim high from his shields as he's not going to get him flipped, so Ryan's going to get a trooper back here. And, I mean, Tom's going to start pounding damage through. And drains for 2. It looks like Tom had to step away for a second. Ryan's just... You know, Ryan's going to do 4 damage here. Like... And honestly, I think you do 4 damage. I think you maybe throw a guy... I think you might throw Shirnu onto the Devastator. And you just say, all right, you want to move your guys around? Let's see what's going on. And let it go. But yeah, Ryan, I mean... Ryan losing the masterful move, I said as soon as he lost the drain, he's like, well, he's got the Gick. He doesn't need the masterful move, otherwise you use that masterful 100% of the time. So, and that's fine. It is what it is. This is still a very uphill battle for Tom, and he needed that battle to go his way. Like, he needed him not to have the Gick so he could do something with it. And Ryan's played this very, very well. Like, just stay ahead, keep the pressure on, don't open yourself up. Like, you're not winning this game, you're not winning this match on turn 1 or 2, but don't do something dumb and lose it, because that's when things can go real badly. Tom did have to step away for a minute, so I'm just going to keep talking to fill the void of silence as we see we're waiting on the drain of 2 to come back here. You know, clock's not really an issue right now. I honestly don't expect the clock to be an issue. This is HITCO. You're not playing long games with HITCO. You're playing relatively fast games that start causing a ton of damage. And Tom's going to start eating some of that here. I expect with Tom being on 7th side, honestly, if I'm Ryan, I might just start losing a force to stop the retrieval. Like, you can't let him get cards back. You're fine with losing small. You know, he's got 25 cards in reserve now. He needs to win by 23. Lose small. Just keep steady grinding your cards down. If you don't have a Vader or someone to flip him back, that would be the other thing you'd see, is just like, here's a Vader to the Jawa camp, flip him to the 7, flip him to the 0 side and say thanks. Or a Cold Feet to drop resistance. And just, alright, well, you drain for 2 and 2. Thanks. Like, you're fine with just trading drains. A drain race may or may not win you the game, but certainly means you don't lose by 23. So, Ryan, Tom still is waiting to act. It's been a few minutes. Like, I hope he knows about the timeout, the game timer. There is an action timer. I know Tom is not going to just be like, oh, I'm just going to walk away and let the action timer die in there. He loses the Our Only Hope from hand. Loses a Jedi Lev off reserve, so losing from reserve is a choice. Like, you need a lot of reserve cards. There goes another Our Only Hope from reserve. Another Drain of 1 at Tatooine. Ahsoka Tano from reserve, so Tom is now below the threshold that he needs to be. Now, granted, he does, I mean, if he ties at 22, it's a lost pile count, which if he wins by 22, he's probably advantaged in, because the difference in lost piles was 14. It was 15 to 29. Ryan grabs a card with his objective, peeks at the top 3, takes one, does a search with a rest order just to verify there's no docking bay in there. I don't think he needs a docking bay. Honestly, I think you just throw Shirnu on on the Devastator, throw bodies at each location so you can't get rolled, and say, let's race. Like, even if you're slightly losing the race in terms of it's 6 to 4, if you don't do anything different, you're fine with that. Or maybe we just play this super aggressively. Here's Jellison on Tempest Scout 1. Could very well be a Barrich along with him, although that feels like you're eating a Chewie. Jellison is not a leader. Oh, Choke Vader is, that's bad though, because Jesselin's not a leader. Choke Vader is also not a leader, although Tarkin adds with Vader. So he'll still get the ad. Yeah, if he hits this choke, it's all over but the crying. Laser cannon battery from hand, I think just to take advantage of. We saw the Imperial artillery flipped for a Destiny earlier, so that may well be I'm just going for it. And I don't love the Han choke. I think you go for Chewie. He's a slightly easier target, although you've got a bunch of shots at it. But that would have killed Chewie. That'll kill him either one of them. That 7's big, so again, he didn't want the shot going through, I guess, but like, it gives you the shot, you lose a guy, you still pound a bunch of damage here. If he doesn't have the Gick, it's over. Even if he has the Gick, it's right about over. Okay, so based on the Destiny, which Ryan got to look at, all of them were going to succeed on choking Han, except for the 3, and the 3 he could redraw. And Tom concedes. Ryan advances. Good for him. Well played. That means y'all can go switch to the Players Committee feed and watch the Matthew Harrison Trainer versus Michael Pistone. Chris Schoenthal will be on the call for that. Should be an amazing game. Seeing in chat, two extremely nice guys and good competitors, Ryan Tom saying, hey, I thought the HITCO might catch you off guard, but TRM just completely caught him and nailed him. And yeah, I think this matchup is probably favored for entanglements. Like being able to not hit guys in walkers makes it real hard to win this matchup. So it's a solid match. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to cut the stream here and let y'all go watch the Players Committee and Chris Schoenthal watch MHT versus Mike Pistone. Have a great night, everybody.